Good morning. Welcome to TERRA at Home, and we're at a neat place here on Brant Street in Burlington. You may have noticed it as you've driven by once or twice, called Spa Vitality. But actually, we're on the lower level right now. We're talking about, instead of the spa stuff upstairs, it's oh serene. We're talking about working out, and of course, being inside the new year right now. Tara's going to help us with Tara Atkinson. Thank you so much. This is your baby. This is your place down here,
yes.
And it's about getting people fit for the new year, men and women.
Yes.
And this is a lot of times, of course, the big focus this time of year for people after really overindulging for many, many weeks and days, leading up, of course, to the new year. Over the holidays, people have a tough time saying no to things.
They really do.
Lots
they
of
really
treats
do.
and drinks and things.
Yep.
So this is when, again, there's some people that are just fit all the time and doing their thing and indulging, and there's some people that are just indulging. So we're trying to get people to talk a little bit about, in general, just fitness, because you do all aspects of fitness. You're a personal trainer.
Yes.
And you do that here as well, right?
Yes, I do that here, and I
Okay.
also do in-home personal training.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Okay, and of course we're talking about iFlex Fitness.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So under that umbrella, you do all of that stuff, right?
We do that stuff. We do boot camps, we do TRX Boot Camp, we do Thank Dog Boot Camp, and other workouts that basically will complement your life and suit your needs, because not everybody's into the same thing.
No, and that's the thing, and I find personally for me when I'm working out, I really shake it up. I do a mix of everything, so I'd love to have something like, we're going to talk about the TRX Fitness, having different aspects versus just going to the gym and running on the treadmill every day.
Yeah.
You can't do it. Your body doesn't really like it.
Yeah.
It gets used to it. And everybody's just, your body's bored and you're bored, right?
Yep. And people really stick to something when they enjoy it and they find an
Yes.
element of enjoyment and fun.
Right.
And that's what I really find that my clients get with the TRX.
Okay, so that's what we're going to focus on today is the TRX Fitness. So let's talk about, this is a kind of a sort of a national fitness program that's come out, and it's an amazing actual workout for your entire body, and it's a little bit more true to what we should be doing as human beings, like mechanically with our body, right?
It is. It's functional fitness. We are training our muscles, we're training our joints, we're constantly engaging our core. When that's
good.
Yeah, we all want that.
Strong core is good.
Exactly. It's a full body workout. There's anything we can do. We can personalize it to a beginner level. We can make it as advanced to pro athletes. It's really a fitness apparatus for anybody.
And I think anybody watching right now may have seen aspects of this, of watching professional, as you're saying, professionals out there from different types of athletes, from football players to trainers for the Olympics, that maybe have seen some of this and while they're watching TV and thought, oh, that looks a little bit intimidating. That's what athletes do. But again, as you're saying, you can adjust it to anybody.
Absolutely. You can make it as basic or as intense as you want to, essentially. Basically, where you are in relation to what's called the anchor point, where the device hangs from, is going to determine how hard or easy it's going to be for you.
Okay, so basically it's straps that are coming down from the ceiling, and you're basically using, again, it's a lot about your own body weight as well, right?
Exactly. Balance is a huge element of this, and as we're working against gravity, our core has to engage.
Sure.
Therefore, everything just makes it a little bit more challenging. We feel our muscles in ways that we never feel when we're working out with traditional dumbbells or typical gym equipment.
Right.
I find that we get very fast results, and we can also incorporate cardio exercises at the same time.
Which is a bonus as well.
Yeah,
Again,
it's a
a lot
time
of people
saver.
worry about that too, right? Is in certain exercises think, well, I'm not going to get my cardio, but you're getting everything from here.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of times too, when you're on weight machines and you're on that static weight machine, you're not working your muscles fully or your body fully. Versus something like this, your body's always engaged. As you're saying, you're always trying to balance too.
Yep, absolutely.
Which makes sense because, of course, as we age, that becomes a problem for a lot of people. So let's talk about even can the older population take part in something like this?
Yes, absolutely. The older population is a perfect example of someone who should be doing this as well, because as we get older, we lose our range of motion and our flexibility. This TRX training actually increases our joint stability as well. So it's fabulous for the aging population, but also for rehab as well.
Oh, I can imagine so, right? Because again, especially with, like, say, a knee injury, and you're trying to, strengthen muscles around certain injuries, that type of thing, you could see. And we're watching them behind us here doing all different types of exercises. So they're up, and they're also on the floor. They're on their backs. This stuff's like, woo! But again, you're adjusting it to the individual.
That's right.
So you're in an environment like this, is it one-on-one, or is it always a class environment? Or can it be both?
It can be both. I can train one-on-one.
Sure.
I can train in a boot camp. I can train a sports team. It all just depends, exactly. So all these different programs are offered through our company.
And again, I can see some, some people watching saying, wow, some of the exercises they're doing, that looks intense. But again, you're not starting off, we're talking people that have been doing this for a while, you're not starting off that way, right?
Yeah, and all these people have also been taught progressive modifications.
Right.
So everybody starts, and from day one, they're shown how to make it as easy as possible or as difficult as possible. And as they get stronger, they can increase or change their positioning.
And I think modifications is key. A lot of times, people are in a class environment, they want to know there's some things that people cannot do, particularly if they do maybe have a back injury, or there are certain things that just inhibit them to do full range of motion. Yes, there are lots of options.
Absolutely. There's always lots of options. And just because it's a boot camp doesn't mean that you cannot take it down to your level if you do have a specific need.
Right, because you're on your own individual straps doing your own thing.
That's right.
So do what you need to do.
That's right.
Okay, so explain a class to me. How long is the process? Okay. How long do you have to do this for?
Okay, so the regular TRX Boot Camp is an hour. It's generally 50 minutes of intense workout with a 10-minute good stretch. Nice. And that's what a lot of people love to at the end, because once we work those muscles, then we have to stretch them out. We're working out that lactic acid, and we're increasing the length of our muscles, so we actually become more flexible.
Well, that's good, because a lot of people miss the stretching part, and a lot of people skip out of classes and don't do the stretching part, which is so key. It's my favorite part.
This is what I love about the TRX, is everybody looks forward to it at the end, and you hear a lot good. Oh, this feels so
it's like your muscles releasing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the hour class, and then there's a half-hour high-intensity interval training class that we do at lunchtime, and it's half-hour of nonstop.
That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. So come in, get your workout, you're getting your strength training and your cardio all in at the same time. You're done in half an hour, and you just completed everything you needed to do.
Oh, that's amazing. That's actually a really good idea. That's what people are looking for. Some people can't squish that in at the beginning of their day, so put it right in the middle of your day, and you're going to feel and probably think way better in the afternoon versus having that slump that a lot of people do, right?
It gives people a surge of energy, and it's a huge time saver, and everybody's fighting for that nowadays.
Now, how can people register for the classes? Are they drop-in, or are they a sign-up membership?
There is a drop-in, and first class is always free, so anybody's welcome to come try.
It's a good idea.
And after that, there's a online registration that anybody can see what's available.
Cool. And your website is?
It is www.iflexfitness.ca.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for having us on the show. And again, I'm sure you have a lot of fun. When obviously we're kind of interrupting a sort of a makeshift class behind us here, but I'm sure once you get the music going and you guys are having a good old time,
it's a lot of fun.
Time passes and you get a great workout. And again, you're using full body and feeling fantastic. And this is the kind of stuff we need for this time of year.
Absolutely.
Get us going. Get us warm.
That's right.
Thank you very much, Tara. Good stuff. Again, inside Spa Vitality here on Brant Street. That's it for now. We'll have more. Tara at home.
TERRA, where color lives.
Good morning and welcome back to TERRA at Home. We are at Ceylon Tea Bush on Locke Street in Hamilton, and I'm here with Amy, and we are here to talk about everything about tea. But first, we want to kind of get a little bit of background on Ceylon Tea Bush and how it all came to be.
Sure. A local Hamilton businessman was actually traveling abroad, and he was given one of these presenter boxes. He tried the tea, fell in love with the tea. So then he acquired the branding rights for North America, and we've been open now 18 months.
And that's the thing. There are teas from all over the place, but you know, it really we've been tasting the teas, and it's like amazing quality and good, and that's what it's all about, right? And we're going to get into some of the nitty-gritty about teas now. There are so many different kinds, and some people have heard some of the health benefits, and some people aren't sure exactly that there are health benefits to all different types of tea, even black tea.
Yes, actually there's one main type of tea, which is one plant. It's the Camellia sinensis. There's 2 strains of that plant. One is the Camellia sinensis, and one is Camellia sinensis assamica.
We leave all that stuff up to you guys.
Yes, from there you have, from that same plant, you have your black tea, your green tea, your white tea, your oolong tea, your pu'er tea, and your yellow tea.
Go figure, right? Because people think it's all from different plants.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's just one.
Okay, and so what makes the difference?
It's the processing, actually, that changes the type of tea that it becomes.
Okay.
So they're all processed differently. Black tea is oxidized. Oolong tea is partially oxidized. White tea is your least processed tea.
Right, so it's the more just in its purest state, right?
Exactly,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Now then when you get into herbal teas and like rooibos tea or any of the herbal teas, you actually don't have any tea leaves in it at all. So there's no caffeine in those teas. For example, we've got some of our herbal teas here. We have a fruit tea and a naturally calm tea.
Okay.
All of which is dried fruits, different herbs, spices, that type of thing. No caffeine in those.
No caffeine. And a lot of people are looking for that nowadays, right? They
want nice to have before you go to bed, right?
Right.
To less keep you up.
Before we get into the other teas, I know that we have this kind of special one here, and we want to get this started because this is actually a blooming tea. It turns into a flower, right?
That's right, yeah. So it starts out just a little ball, and we're going to just add some hot water to it, and gradually you'll see it blooms out into a beautiful flower.
What kind of tea is this considered to be?
This is a green tea.
A green tea, okay.
Yeah, it is drinkable. It also is used, you know, once you've drank in it, you can add cold water to it and use it as a centerpiece or sort of a decoration. Neat. So, yeah, but it's kind of a great little decorator.
Cool. Okay, so we're going to come back and look at that in a little bit. But let's talk about, so if we get into teas, so let's move to, say, just a black tea in general, what a lot of people are used to. There's a lot of comparisons. People argue all the time, what has more caffeine, you know, a black tea or a green tea or a coffee or what? So where does that all fall?
The black tea, green tea, white tea, they all have about 20% of the caffeine as coffee.
Okay, so they're all the same.
They're all the same now. However, the caffeine in tea is much different than the caffeine in coffee. Okay. So you're going to come across with coffee, you're going to get that big quick boost, and then you're going to crash. Whereas with tea, you have a chemical called L-theanine, and it governs the release of the caffeine in your system. So it's kind of it keeps you at a steady pace throughout the day rather than, you know, spiking and then dropping. Actually, what I'll do now is maybe I'll start brewing the black tea that we have here, and I can kind of show you.
That's good to know, because again, there's just, people are always talking, they hear little bits of information, right? And then they're not sure, but that's just really the main difference.
That's right. Now with the black tea, the green tea, and the white tea, and the herbal teas, you're going to brew them all at different temperatures and for different times.
And I don't think a lot of people do that.
No, and you'll get bitter tea if you leave it too long, especially with the green tea, the tea will go bitter.
Yes.
So with the black tea, we're going to do about 3-minute timing.
Okay.
At a 205-degree water.
Okay.
With a green tea, you're going to do less temperature. You want to do about 195 degrees.
Okay, so not quite as hot water. Yeah. And I think a lot of times people with green tea, I know my dad does this, he thinks if I leave the tea in longer, I'm going to get more antioxidants and it's going to be better for me. But that's when you start getting bitter as well, too,
yeah, the taste goes away. You don't want to
It changes things. So how long would you keep the water in a green tea?
For a green tea, 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes.
Okay.
Same as with a white. And with those two, you want to have them, you know, boil your kettle and then lift the lid up for a few minutes and then pour. Just because with a freshly boiled pot of water, you're going to bruise the tea and you're not going to get the same nutritional benefits as you would.
So there you go. So it doesn't need to be like scalding.
No.
Which is helps you be able to drink it within the next couple of hours.
That's right, yeah. And then with herbal teas and fruit teas, they can go 4 or 5 minutes depending on how strong you want it. You can rebrew. Yeah, lots of options.
Okay, so now we're just talking about the basics of them all, but then there becomes the flavor. And so you get into, you know, some people are just drinking green tea all the time. They're like, I need something different. So there are a lot of variations. Let's just talk about some of the flavors that you have that are a green tea base.
Yeah, we've got plenty of green teas here. The one that I've got here to show you is our pomegranate green. It's got some rose petals in it and some dried pomegranate in it. We have one called Spring Morning. It's infused with dried strawberries. We have a lemon zest green tea. We have a cherry promenade green tea. We've got lots of lots of flavor infused green teas.
And the way you guys do it too. I mean, there's these big beautiful canisters that you have. I mean, even just when you pop the lid off, the smell just comes rushing out, right?
Yes.
But that gives people a good sense of what they're about to taste by allowing them to waft that smell towards them, right?
Yeah.
So how many teas overall do you have?
We have about 55 varieties of loose leaf tea.
Wow. Yeah. Do you have some people that just come in and stand there and not know
Yeah,
what to do?
yeah.
What do I do?
The best way we used to say, tell us what you want to pull down and we'll waft it to you. And the best way to choose is really to smell it.
Sure.
And then we do encourage blending teas as well. So if they want a green tea but they want it to be berry flavored, then we take the two and we can blend it right here in the store for them.
That's cool. Okay, so we're watching this guy unfold over here slowly as well, right? And that's actually looks pretty neat. I love that. That's awesome. And so again, 3 minutes for that.
Yeah.
And so talk about the process of how you pour the water in there and how does that actually work?
Yeah, so this is a simplicity maker. So we add the loose leaf tea into there, about 2 teaspoons for a cup. And then you're going to add the boiling water, let it sit for 3 minutes. We're probably around the 3-minute mark now. And then what you do, there's a release on the bottom. So you just place it over top of a cup and you'll see the tea comes right through.
How easy is that? That is way less spillage at your desk at the office.
Yeah. And then with a lot of teas, you can re-steep. You keep your leaves in there and re-steep. You can also use it to make iced tea. So you can steep your tea hot and then we shake it on ice, add sweetener if you wish, and then you have an iced tea as well.
That's an amazing part of it all, right? I mean, it's just there are so many options. I could see how people would just have a problem. But I guess, again, you narrow down, you come in, okay, I'm looking for a white tea, and then that will help you.
Exactly.
But I could see, again, the fact that you can have it cold too is always nice in the summertime, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
So to accompany this, of course, lots of accessories, lots of great things that make having that cup of tea a little bit easier, but also you have dessert.
Yes, we have plenty of pastries, very delicious, very complimenting with tea.
That does not go along with our show today, though, because our show is about the new year. We were just doing TRX, and so maybe just stick to the tea, but maybe have a little sweet, right? Yeah, lots of good options.
No, the tea is very, very healthy for you. It aids in digestion, metabolism. It warms you when you're cool. It cools you when you're warm. It's all about balancing yourself, and tea is a good way to do it.
Well, it's great, because a lot of people are trying to, maybe this time of year as well, in the new year, switching over maybe a little bit less coffee and moving to some of the health benefits from tea. So, Amy, thanks for letting us come into your space again, located on Locke Street here in Hamilton, and just a nice, great, beautiful atmosphere and a great place to have a cup of tea. Awesome stuff. All right, we'll have more TERRA at home after this.
TERRA, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Good morning. Welcome back to TERRA at Home. We are at the Go Cooking Kitchen here at the Spectator, and I'm here with our lovely Chef Iain.
Good to be back.
And we're making something very yummy.
Yes.
It's good January food.
Exactly. It's sort of my interpretation of a Croque Monsieur and an American Monte Cristo. Okay. So we've got the best of both worlds.
Okay.
We're going to do a wonderful crusty bread with some 5-year aged cheddar cheese, some Black Forest ham, a little Dijon mustard. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put it into a wonderful egg and cream wash. And then we're going to throw it on the fry pan. And of course, as you know, everything tastes better with butter.
Butter and cream and cheese and frying it.
Everything that tastes good, isn't it?
Exactly.
So we're going to start off by making our egg and cream mixture. Okay. Not too complicated, not rocket science. Keep
That's the difference
eggshells
between
out.
this, of course, and a grilled cheese, where a grilled cheese you wouldn't be soaking it in.
No. If you're going to make an interpretation or a comparison, more a French toast than a grilled cheese.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So, we're just going to beat 3 eggs, and we're going to add a cup and a half, 2 cups of cream. If you want to do that for me,
I can do that.
That's wonderful.
All of it?
Please, thank you.
Wow.
Exactly. Come on, this one tastes good.
So this is like full cream?
Full cream, 35. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's good. It's whatever tastes good. I'd like to make it savory. Instead of with a French toast, we're going to make it sweet. We would add sugar and maybe some, vanilla essence and things like that.
Right.
But we're going to make it savory.
Okay.
So I'm going to add a little bit of chives.
Oh, that'd be good.
I'm going to add some parsley. Okay. And a little bit of garlic. We're going to incorporate that.
Okay.
And we're just going to let it sit for a little bit. So let that stand aside, and we're going to start building our sandwich. I found some day-old crusty bread at my local baker. It's better to go with the day-old. It has a chance to sort of dry out a little bit. So when the time that it comes into going into the wash, it's going to absorb all that garlic and cream and all that
Versus
herbs.
falling apart.
Versus falling apart, absolutely.
Okay.
So I'm going to make a little space for us here, and we're just going to assemble our sandwich. So like I said, everything tastes better with butter. So butter some bread.
Okay. So I always wondered when the buttering stage came in, so you actually do butter it before you soak it in there.
I'm going to put a little butter on the inside because I just want to keep, because I'm going to be putting Dijon mustard down and put some ham and cheese down.
Okay.
I just want everything to be nice and compact between the two pieces of bread. And like I said before, everything tastes better with butter.
It does.
So a little Dijon mustard. This originated Croque Monsieur. Croque meaning crunch. It was a Mr. Crunch sandwich. It was found on Paris bistros and cafes in the early 1800s.
Really?
And like I said, it sort of transpired through the years and the different generations. If you add an egg to it, you have a croque madame. And like I said, with the American version, you've got something that's a Monte Cristo.
Okay.
That's with an egg wash.
With an egg wash.
Exactly.
So you're not soaking.
We're not soaking per se.
A
That's
Monte Cristo
right.
isn't necessarily soaked. It just has a wash to it.
Just
okay,
a
I was
wash
wondering
to
what the
it.
difference was there. All right.
And again, with our Croque Monsieur, we're also adding a bechamel sauce. So a bechamel is just equal parts flour and butter, your favorite, and putting that on top of your sandwich.
Goodness, look at this.
So we're going to assemble our sandwiches, and again, we're going to soak it.
Wow.
Exactly. Give it a moment or two.
People they always question how French people can be so thin and everything, and when they're eating stuff like this, because all of their food is very rich and very decadent, lots of sauces and
absolutely
even their desserts, everything. But I guess it's all in moderation for them, and they do lots of walking, don't they?
It's yes.
do a lot. I'd be walking around the entire city after this.
Parisian cooking, everything is done every day. They go to the grocery store every single day, as opposed to buying their food a week in advance. And yeah, you touched on it. It's portion size. So the walking, and again, smaller portions, even though you're having all that.
North Americans eat off platters, and they
platters, exactly. So we're going to let it soak for just a minute or two longer. Okay. And while we do that, we're going to bring up the heat on our skillet or our fry pan. And again,
we add more butter.
We're going to add a little more butter.
Right. Well, we don't want this to stick.
We don't want it to stick, even though it's a non-stick pan. Absolutely.
Flavor component.
This makes for a wonderful, it's a little bit heavier. It's a great Sunday brunch sort of idea, I think. Anyway.
But again, you're not going to eat this in July. You're going to eat this in January.
This is January. This is sort of stick to your bones, delicious goodness.
This might be really good after coming off the hills, after you've done a good day of skiing.
Well said.
Absolutely. I like you're going to put a little bit of a salad with it, but you could also have a big bowl of soup or something, right?
Exactly. For sure.
To the bones.
Yep.
Okay.
Coming off the slopes, nice cold day, coming in from skating, for sure. Not too hard. We're just going to let it brown and give it a moment or two. We can also finish it off in the oven. Just to bring things through and just to melt the cheese. But right now we're just going to get...
Because you want to brown it first, but as you said, so you would just essentially just browning it, and then you could just take that and just...
Potentially, yes. Also, when you have more than one guest, if you're doing a few of them at a time, absolutely. You can have the opportunity to throw it before.
Tell you, that smells really amazing.
Can I just tilt the pan forward? You can take a look at
that.
It's coming through. And give it the opportunity, like I said, you have 2 or 3, throw them in the oven and you warm things through and you let the cheese melt.
That's kind of fun, I think that's just a really good old fun sandwich. That's what that is. Yeah. See, in Paris, I would feed a family of 4. Here, my dad would eat 2 of those.
Fair enough. Well, when we come back, I'd like to finish, you'll see the finished off version of the sandwich. I'm going to put it together with a little salad. Nothing too fancy, just a little julienne cucumbers and carrots.
Okay.
I've got some ginger and some lime dressing that we'll put together here.
good.
Just to cut
But you know
through all
what?
the
That's
heavy.
what I was going to say. That really does cut through the heavy, right? It gives you that little bit of, you know, I think the whole idea of having a coleslaw or that type of a salad with a sandwich is that
Great
same
idea.
thing, right? It
Yep.
separates.
Perfect.
That, and you're not dipping that in ketchup, are you?
No, no,
I
you
think
tend
so.
to stay away from your ketchups. Yes,
I don't think you
sort
really
of-
need it. I think you've got enough.
You don't need
flavor
tomato
in there.
and sugar. Yeah.
No,
You're-
you don't.
You're good.
I agree with
You're
you.
good.
All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to come back. We'll let this do its thing, melt, look yummy. We'll come back and we'll put it all together with the
Get it all
salad.
together.
And then we'll eat. Yay. We'll be right back.
TERRA, where color lives.
The Hamilton Spectator, at work, at home, or on the go. Read us online, in print, or download us to your e-reader. Get the Hamilton Spectator any way you want it.
Good morning. Welcome back to TERRA at Home. When we just left off a couple of minutes ago, we had this beautiful sandwich frying up in the pan that you had done. And again, this is an interpretation of a whole bunch of sandwiches in one, right?
That's right. It's my interpretation of a Croque Monsieur, which is normally a sandwich that's with a bechamel. A Monte Cristo, again, is when it's washed in egg and cream. And a Croque Madame is when an egg is added on
Which
top.
is what you're doing,
And
because
it's
we just felt we needed to add more to the sandwich.
Exactly. More egg, more butter. It makes everything taste delicious.
Yes.
So if I recall correctly, you said you liked your eggs over easy.
Yeah.
And if this egg is going to cooperate with me,
Look at that.
we'll just finish that on top.
Now, how are you supposed to eat that?
Knife and fork, lots of napkins.
Okay.
I
Oh, yeah.
have-
Tell us about this dressing. I wanted to hear again the ingredients in here.
It's just a simple, nice light. I want something refreshing. It's lime and ginger. We have sort of a rather heavy breakfast in front of us.
You think?
So again, a little light, ginger, lime. I've added some garlic, some fresh herbs, and just an oil and vinegar. Tossed lightly with a few California mixed, a little julienne carrot, and some cucumber.
Nice.
And just give it a wee toss with some salt and pepper, of course. And then we can finish it off.
That's great.
It's a great brunch time idea.
But you're right, you really do need to have that light salad on the side
little
just
light
to break
salad.
up the heaviness of the sandwich.
That's right.
But
I mean,
that's just so
get
much
a
fun.
bowl out. Thank you.
Yeah, here, let's
just get a
do that.
bowl out of the way.
Okay.
And this is Sunday brunch.
Look at that. So fantastic. So when someone's cutting into this, they're going to get a little bit of egg. They've got that aged cheddar in there, which is
Aged
nice,
cheddar,
right? Gives
yeah.
a little bit of a bite. And some ham.
There's a little bit of Dijon mustard, some sharpness with the aged cheddar. And like I said, it's a wonderful Sunday brunch. It's not really complicated, but it does look very impressive on a plate.
It actually really, really does. I like that idea. And maybe a glass of fresh squeezed grapefruit juice or something might be
Or
kind
like
of
a
fun.
stout, you know? It's like early in the afternoon, a stout or a
Scottish,
pilsner.
aren't ya?
It's true, on and on.
I love it. Thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
good stuff. Good, Chef Iain. Thank you. I'll be taking that. I won't take it yet. I'll have more TERRA at home. Have yourself a great weekend.